Welcome to part 11 of this beautiful 2.4 build. Yeah, today I think we finished up the official manual and all the little mods and stuff that came with the kit. And it's printing already pretty well, and I used it quite a fair bit. We can later check the stats maybe on the machine, like how much I printed. But I would guess like I'm approaching 80, 90 hours or something like that. Like I think it's quite a bit I printed so far. Um, yeah, so I did do anything basically since we left off last time. The only thing I did is like I put in this one part, this one cover here that we couldn't get in at all. In the end, I just reduced the size by 0.4 millimeters and it snapped right in. So I think this rail, it is 3 millimeter off the extrusion here, but for some reason it's just like ever so slightly too low and it didn't fit with the other part. Hi Ironic, welcome. So yeah, I think also I mentioned last time already, I fixed the doors a bit so that they like now close properly and they don't like catch each other. So yeah, the only thing that's really left to do, um, we have this exhaust filter where I'm actually not quite sure if I will use it or not. Most likely not. Um, we're gonna install it anyways, just to have it complete. Then the kit comes with this light bar. We're also gonna throw this one in. Not quite sure yet where and how to route the cable, but I mean, most likely we'll put it on the front. Problem is, next stream I want to add a camera in exactly like this spot here. So like just like here on the inside. This will be the prime spot for this light as well. So we might put the light on the bottom side here. And then last but not least, of course, we have still the screen to install here. I think I would do this one actually last, most likely. And then, oh yeah, the nozzle brush. We also have this nozzle brush. I printed the parts. So the kit comes with this brush. We have to cut off the handle basically, and then this slides just in here, and we can use this to prime the nozzle and clean it. That's actually like really needed. Like now, whenever I print, I basically have to go through this like quite annoying routine of like heating the nozzle up, scrubbing it, cooling it down, scrubbing it a bit more, and then I can start actually like probing the bed. Because if you don't do that and you have like a little bit of like filament on the top or the tip of the nozzle, yeah, you will get like bad Z offsets. Hi there, Mr. DDSI, welcome. So, let's not talk too long and just jump in, I would say. I already have the manual open for the exhaust filter, so let's just start with that. I don't think there's any specific order we need to follow for that. So, let's go. One thing I should mention is, while I was printing, I taped the back opening shut. And the machine's getting pretty heavy. So I added tape here, which kind of backfired a little bit. Can I show it here? So you see here, there's like a bit of glue left from the tape, which is quite annoying. I need to see how to remove that. Usually I would just use IPA, but acrylic glass can be damaged by IPA. So I'm not quite sure if that's the smartest idea. I'll need to figure something out to remove that. But to be honest, it's also not the biggest problem because it's on the back of the machine, so I don't care too much. And in the end, we will have, I mean, it doesn't really cover it. It's here on the side, but yeah, doesn't really matter. Okay, let me just give you your usual top-down view, maybe without the camera. I'm looking into like a new camera mount for here. This is a bit annoying. So yeah, let's just start with this part and jump right in. So the manual asks us to install this coupler here first. Hi there, Steve. WD-40 works. I do not have it at hand, but it's a great tip. I'll give that a shot later. Good. Cool. So, I mean, step one, that was easy. Let's see. Then, yeah, the fan. So we have one more of these fans. Where are you hiding? We have one more fan. We have this filter material and we have the cover. And we also printed this fan cover. Uh, and the kit also comes with this extension cable for the fan. I'm building a Micron right now, and your 2.4 looks massive compared to it. Yeah, it's a massive machine. And it's not even the biggest one, right? It's only the 300. I mean, only is relative, but it's a 300. So there are bigger ones around. I saw a video this week. Let me quickly check. This needs to face this way with the logo here. I was watching a video this week about this new, I never know how to pronounce that name, Physect, I think it's the brand, Physect printer, which is like 600 by 600 or 500 by 500. And man, that thing is massive. So I'm just dumping all the screws here on the side. I don't think we need too many, but let's just have them here. So we need M3 by 30. This looks like this bag. It's not actually my own micro, I'm building it for someone else. Oh, that's amazing. So you have all the fun and somebody else pays the bill. I wonder how we route the cable. Because I would hate to have the cable on the outside here. The manual doesn't say anything regarding that. So I think the easiest would be to just put the cable through the hole and just squeeze it a bit here. Yeah, that works. I think we can just like maneuver the cable in here. And then my plan is to run it on the inside of the extrusion and then down. Does do the V0 fit in the 2.4? Yeah, safely. I would say yes. In the 300 for sure. For sure. I remember I don't know who it was, but somebody put their Prusa Mark III inside the 350 as an enclosure. That was quite a good idea. One of my friends 2.4, it was on the outside. Yeah, but on the outside it's like not nice. I really don't like outside. Mounted on the back and the cable as well. Yeah, I was thinking about having the light on the back, but then you always have the shadow of the tool head on the part you look at. So I really want to have the light on the front, to be honest, just for this reason. Because if you have it on the back, yeah, I think the shadow would annoy me quite a bit. So front it is. So yeah, I think this works with the cable. So I really just like run it here on the inside. Not really like a gap here, so that definitely should be fine. I don't see a problem with that. But for light, Steve, so my plan is to mount it to the front, but then run the cable on the inside of this extrusion back, and then both of them together down. So that would be my plan. Okay, then let's add this back panel here. And these parts are injection molded. They come with the kit, which I think is quite nice because it saves quite a bit of filament. I would put the light in front so you don't look directly into it. It's not a good reason, ironic. It's not a good reason. Also, like if you had a camera later and the light's on the back and the camera looks towards the light, the image will be difficult. We'll put this out. Let's put this filter in later. Okay. Then, you know what? I can actually also show you a bit more what I'm doing here. I'm working with the printer right now. Then this is the VHB tape. Oh, I thought it was foam tape. Well, let's see. So the VHB tape that comes with the kit is too wide for this. So I think, I mean, I'm a bit annoyed by this tape anyways, because you see here, like on the side, oh, why is it so bright? Why was the image so bright just now? Never mind. So this one is like really annoying to work with. So I'll just use like, you can use this VHB tape and you can use like a knife to, maybe I can even do that. There's not a lot left. This will be the last application for this VHB tape from my side. So I think what I will do is I will just remove this like messed up part here, and then I'm just gonna cut through the middle. Try and make sure it's the middle. Yeah, it kind of works. It's really annoying. You see like the tape here, it doesn't like full, like it pulls itself off the backing and stretches. Like it's really annoying to work with because like the sides are. Okay, let's just push this down here. And then I'm gonna do a cut here. Let's use the other side here. I think I need to move a tiny bit here. Yeah, this is not a great user experience with this tape. Okay. And then the last one. I mean, the positive side is like getting the backing off the VHB tape is usually super annoying. That does it now for you. But it looks not like a professional application. Let's see if we can, because like here we have not the VHB tape standing over. Let me quickly, not sure if we have enough space for that. Let me quickly get my cutting mat. Let's just cut what's standing out. Okay. Now basically this is all flush. and will look a lot nicer. Okay, that's done again. Okay, that looks good. I mean, the manual now puts in the filter, so let's put in the filter. Okay, then. So this is this part here, which, yes, will basically go in here. They use M5 T-nuts as well. Format instruction asks for the LED to be mounted at the back. I don't know if the cable will be long enough. That's a good hint. I'll check that in a second. Then that might be the reason to mount it in the back. But I really would prefer to have my light in the front. Okay, let's. I still love these panels. Like, I highly recommend these magnetic panels. Like, it's a bit of money because you have to buy the magnets extra. But it's so easy to take them off. Like, also when I print now PLA, I just quickly pop out all the panels. And I don't have to worry about anything with PLA printing. Okay, so this basically goes here. It's a bit loose here. Like it's the cutout is almost almost bigger as this part. Then we have two M5 T-nuts, and then we have these holders. Okay, let's start with the M15 nuts, and they are on the back. Yes. M15 nuts. Do the wires clear the fan blades? Yes, they definitely clear the fan blades. That's not a problem here with the wires. Because like they come out of on top of the frame, so that's definitely no problem. Okay, let's pop in these. Then let me find the parts. I mean, one I have. Yeah, we have a second. I really need to clean this one out. So they are mounted like this. And then we need an M510. Why does that not go in? Oh no. Do we have M4 of these? Oh no. We do have M4. Ha! I wasn't aware that we have M4s. I put M4s in. Let me see if I get them out. But experience with these shows is really difficult to get them out. Like the M3 are okay, but the M5s, I still have M5s here on the front that I accidentally put in there, and like I absolutely gave up on getting these out. I think these are the same. Okay, let's just leave them. Let me see if I can give you like a bit of a side view here. Let me just quickly double check that this is now, yeah, these are, yeah. I totally forgot that we used ever M4, M4 T-nuts. Yeah, what the hell is M4 on a Voron printer? But there it is. It's M4. And the problem is that, oh wow, no, this is me screwing up. This is completely separate. You see, like the Formbot bags have this red stripe here, like they all have the red stripe. This one does not have the red stripe. This is a random bag of M14 nuts that managed its way into my Formbot. Oops. Well, now it's part of the printer. Um, yeah, there's M4 screws for the PCU, that's true. But I don't think there are any M4. There are definitely no M14 nuts in the kit. Okay, let me just position them so that we kind of squeeze the grill here a bit. So it doesn't immediately fall out. And then we use M3 by 12s. Let me see, where do we have M3 by 12? Here. Hi there, Ravenkeeper, welcome. So let's push this cable just through one of the hexes. I guess we also should push the Bowden tube. I'm not sure if we get it out this way. I think we need to. Yep. And there it goes. We need to push the Bowden in from the outside. Let's see if we like this for now. Let's put this back. Put the Bowden through. Not sure if it's me or if it's a bit stupid. Most likely it's me, but let me quickly peel off the backing, which is super easy because the roll of tape peeled the backing off already. So let's just hang this in here and hang this in here. And just like I'm not pushing it on, I just carefully giving it a tug. It's one of my famous parts where the screw stone fits through. Here we go. Okay. Oh, well, that's all it needed. We need to reposition this one here ever so slightly. Okay, one sec. Let me quickly put this up there. My idea was to just have it there tucked on, but like not fixed. But seemingly the VHP tape had other plans. Okay. Where did that... Oh, here it is. Let's try again. So here we go. So the screw is basically clipped in. Let me just quickly make sure this is center, which is definitely not right now. There we go. Okay. Third attempt is a charm. So this one I'll just put through the side here, Bowden through the center. And let me make sure we... So this screw is in. Here we go. This one is also in. Okay. And the only thing that now happened is that here the VHP tape repositioned itself. I'll accept that now. Maybe I can quickly fix it. I think I make it only worse. Here we go. Quickly press this on. Here we go. It is mounted. And if I recall correctly, there was like another thing to loop this over. Exactly, we have this little thingy here. Let's see if I can find it in my parts chaos. Yeah, here it is. And that goes on top. That is good enough. It doesn't really rotate in here, so we need to be careful with the orientation. And now this is definitely not long enough, so we need to have a bit more. Yeah, I definitely need to have longer Bowden tubes, Steve. Because the problem is that you need to have quite a big bend here. Because otherwise this will, I mean, they position it here. Yeah, the Bowden is definitely too short. Because like as soon as you pull it in, like it kinks, and you can't really have a kink here, right? Let me think. I think for now, let's leave this part out here and just have it like this. Because this is the length of Bowden I pretty much need anyways. Because otherwise it can't really reach here to the front. So this is pretty much the minimum length Bowden I need, and then there's nothing left. So if you want to use this as intended by Voron, you need to have this loop here. You definitely have to extend, like get a longer Bowden tube. Wonder why they gave such a short one. Okay, then I will leave this part out. I mean, it's easy enough to install here. Nothing special. And I will also leave out the spool holder. So there's also a injection molded part. So basically, if you loop it over here, you can put the spool holder here on the side or on the other, like whatever floats your boat. I have a little spool holder here externally, so I'm not gonna use that. I'm actually pushing this in as much as possible. But yeah, these two parts, feel free to mount them. I'm gonna skip over those. Cool. Let's look at the cable situation. And then actually, before we look at the cable situation, let's look at the light that we can kind of plan the light into our cable routing as well. Let me quickly collect all the screws here. That was one open bag. So a bit more space here. Okay. Let's take a look. So at the moment, the cable comes out here, and my plan now was basically to tuck it up here into the extrusion and then run it down here on the inside. And then I need to see where we smuggle it under deck. But that was kind of my idea. So now the question is with the light. Where did I put the light now? Where did I put the light? So seemingly Formbot wants us to mount that light in the back. Let's see if I actually can get the cable off the light. I think the cable is relatively long. Most likely that they planned the cable for the 350 kit, like the other cables as well. That's not that long. I mean, for here, it definitely would work. Like if we have the light here, we can run both of them down. I think this is actually, Mr. Desire, you are right. Like the cable is too short for the front for sure. I mean, it's easy enough to extend that cable. But let's just mount this here in the back, exactly like this in the center. We could mount it also facing forward. Not a fan, to be honest. I think I'd rather have it facing downward than facing forward. Exactly for the reason that Rivonic mentioned, that like I don't want to look into the light. So let's put it like this. Oh, yeah, and here you see the the M5 nuts also on the front. I don't get them out. Like I tried quite a bit, and all I do is damage the frame. It was maybe not smart to put all the screws back. So I think we need M3 by 8 should be plenty for this one. And then we need two M3 hammerhead nuts. The other thing is we definitely need to extend this cable here, and they give us this extension. So my question now would be, is that small enough that we can push that into the extrusion? I don't think that's the case. No, it's a bit too thick. So the point where these two come together must be ideally up here in the corner. So we can just push this cable in here and then put the lamp basically on top. I wonder whether it's smart to just put the machine on its back. That might make our life significantly easier. Oh yeah, there's not something on the back. I totally forgot. Yeah, and you let me see. Now you get the full mirror experience here. Let me just open that for you. Does it work? Yeah, I guess you can see. Yeah. So this goes then basically in here. So let's quickly pop these in. And I put it on top of the cable, basically. I'm just gonna hide here behind the printer. Where's my other driver? So this one. Why do you not want to go in? I'm not sure if I can put the cable behind that. Doesn't seem like I can put the cable behind that. What a shame. And quickly try the other side. Just to be sure this is the problem. You guide it. Yeah, this one is in. No, it's not. Why does that not go in? I could use a screw. Does it work? No. So first put it. Okay, this is in. Let me try this side again. So ideally I really want to have it over the cable. We just need to be very careful with the cable when we screw it in. I think the cable prevents it from clicking in. We can also try a hammerhead knot. Oh, now it's in. Okay, cool. And I think then on this side, I will use a shorter screw. Let's use like an M3x6 on that side. Then we have 6 safety margin basically, because I don't want to like screw the screw onto the cable. That would be not ideal. Quickly. I dropped like quite a bunch of these M3x8s. Hi there, Patsimir. Welcome. So I keep one M3x8 here. Quickly check where the back is. And I'm fairly certain, yeah, I already see it there, M3x6. And I think the M3x6 will be fine to mount the light. Just move the quite a bit over. Actually wonder if the M3x8 is not too long. It's really awkward to work like this. Might look on video like I'm struggling, and I am. There we go. You check if I can tighten this or whether the screw bottoms out. Yeah, I can tighten this. This is fine. Okay. Okay. Then the second one. Yeah, an M3x6 is just long enough to grab, but doesn't go in very far, which is exactly what we want because we have the cable behind there. I just does not want to slide to the center. It's like not fixed here. I mean, it's here, it's somewhat fixed, but even if I remove that, and then it wants to slide. Okay. Oh, this one doesn't really want to slide because of the cable behind. Okay, I understand that. Mm, Let's actually flip it one more time and flip it on top. I think that might be might be the easiest to work with. We should have installed the light, I think, before installing any of the panels, like the back panel. Because now the back panel is kind of fixed, we can't really remove it anymore, but we still have to install that light there. Oh, Formbot uses M3x6? Well, the M3x6 is really short for this. And the cable is fine. So lesson learned is that we can't move the nuts. We kind of have to move it, pop it in at that spot where we need it more or less. Which is roughly here. But I really like having the cable behind there. Because regular viewers know I have a favor for very clean wiring. And nothing gets in my way of clean wires. I don't know. End up not being center against it by so much. Yeah, it's like also like it would be way easier to put the nuts in because like if you can lever over the other side, like they go in really easy, but now because there's a panel, it's a bit iffy to put them into their place. So yeah, from this side it's easier. So this is center now. Yeah, looks about center. Then so the screw goes in and then Why is the screw not going now? And these like last 5 little things are really testing my patience. No, it's just a bad nut, I think. Like it's not really turning really smoothly. Yeah, definitely put the light in before you put the filter on the back end. That makes it a lot easier, I think, because then you can remove the back panel. Ooh, okay, cool. Then that is in. And now all we need to do is to have, ideally we also would have like pulled a bit more cable down, but I don't think we can do that now with the nut on top. Um, let's see. So the kit also comes with these covers. For that is now like something will be a bit iffy. So looking at the length, it's definitely too long anyways. So let's just cut it to length first. So I'm just using quickly snips. I'm not going to rearrange the camera. Just to cut this to size. Then let's see how we can maneuver this into the rail here. So will be quite difficult. I think for this one, maybe easier to put it on this side. Hey Adam. I don't want to remove the doors because I adjusted. Otherwise, like it would also like make my life a bit easier. Okay, so this, let me just first push that. You can also just move the tool at least to the other side. So this goes through here. It does. So, I mean, this cable at least is now pulled through. And this cable is not very long, even with the extension. I'm not sure what you see. Yeah, you see what I'm doing. Okay. So let's push this cable through here too. Yeah, this would all be much easier without the back panel. So 100% recommendation, don't do the back panel at the beginning. Arguably, maybe it would have been easier to just do the light even before putting the anything in, like just all at the beginning where we also did the Nevermore. Maybe it's just good to do all these like things in the beginning because then the cables are already in place. Okay, so the cables are somewhat in the rail. And I think my plan would now be to use this clip here and just use that. I push the top in, and then my idea was to just push this under the motor. That's what I mean. Like, if you would do that before adding the gantry, walk in the park. Nothing to worry. Now, with the gantry installed, it's definitely a bit of a more difficult job. Okay, so this is lengthwise in position. I might need to cut this a bit shorter. I'm gonna snip off like another couple millimeters here. Because I'm pretty much on the bottom, and it's even more. Yeah, much easier time if you do it in the beginning. Okay. So here it's in. And then I think my idea now would be to move the gantry all the way up, which is a bit of pain, but let's try. And then we can work on bottom here. I don't know if somebody says something in chat. I don't see anything. It's all behind the printer. I think this is all in. The only problem is now we have a bit of cable here. So let's see what we can do with that. But at least the long run of cable is done. And there's really not a lot of cable like poking out on the bottom. So I'm not quite sure if that will be enough. Because the problem is with how I do it, like we have some little bit of extra cable here. Let's call like, yeah, maybe 7-8 centimeters. But we can't use that because the plug needs to be here in the corner. It can't be somewhere down there. Okay, let's move this thing back on its feet for now. I would have put the fan cable connector in the filter and then extend the wires so the back panel wouldn't be easy to remove. Well, it is easy to remove. It's not. I don't know, like it's not easy to remove anyways. Yeah, I mean, the only thing we could have done, Steve, is to have this cable here be in the back of the exhaust filter, which would have been maybe better, but then it's even shorter and there's no cable left here on the bottom. I think even like this, it's too short. And then yes, it would be removable because then you can unplug that thing here. But even as it is, like this is too short. Like this doesn't even reach to the main board. So I'm not quite sure. I mean, to me, from the length of the cable, it seems like they just want to have the cable dangle on the outside, but I'm definitely not going to do that. That's the only way how you can route this cable from here to the main board. The light should be fine. And the things I don't want to extend it. Like this comes with the kit, right? Like this should work. A bit stupid. And for light, we can pull. Ah, shit. I put it out. We can pull a little bit more cable. I'm also not quite sure yet how to move these cables under deck. I'm also not sure if this has clearance here. It should be, that should be fine. Okay. Let me think what to do here. Like, we definitely have to extend the wire. There's no way around that. Like, both wires are just way too short. I do actually have another extension cable for that. That's from the hot end I installed. Would be like a quick fix solution, but like, yeah, it's a bit annoying because like you get these wires with the kit, and like for me, it's no problem to crimp new wires. And these were like the super sketchy ones. I remember. So yeah, it's very very annoying that the cables are too short. But any through the Z belt cover for the LED. Oh, you mean here? This one? Yeah. That was my idea. I think I lost my I lost my Anki for that one. I was not excited in removing these again. For removing these again. It's the same fuck up now in reverse, like last week. I sent by my comments from last time. Like these are absolute fuck design. Okay. So we can maneuver these in here. Let's see where they come out on the bottom because I'm not quite sure. I'm just gonna push them in here and then we can figure it out. Okay. Let's flip the entire thing on its hat and then we look at the electronics bay. Oh, it's hard work building a Voron. So, which color did we fill out here? So they should come in, yeah, here. Here. And here. Okay, so, I mean, as is, it's just long enough, most likely. Yeah. Well, the only fan header we can connect it is this one. And this is the Nevermore. So we need to swap the Nevermore around, which is not the worst. Just gonna swap that in the config. Let's just, for the looks of it, maneuver it through here. Like this. And then let's use the hot and 4, I think, here on the back, the last one, for the light. Hi there, Rush. Welcome. You finished the Core 1 build. How is it? How does it print? Okay, that's 1. And 2. Here we go. So cable-wise, this just works out on the 300. So if you have a 350, might be just too short. Cool. That was that part. um, we still have like this little bit of cable loop there in the top corner. I think we'll just throw like a zip tie on that later. And later is now. Do we have zip ties here? Yes, I do have zip ties here. Let me just quickly. Yeah, so basically, if we would have routed the cable, Steve, like you suggested, to make the back panel easy removable, would have been too short. How we routed it now, it just works out. So I think your approach is better, but then you manually have to extend the cable. Wait 1 second. You don't see anything I'm doing right now. I'm very sorry. I'm also not sure if what I'm doing makes any sense. I'm just zipping the cables together that they are up there in the corner. Cool. Okay. I think then this is the manual here, right? Yeah, this is the last page of the manual. So we completed the manual part. And then I think the last thing we need to do is the screen and all the extra wiring we have up here. Let's start with the easy part, which is the Ethernet cable. So we have this keystone here in the back. I'm not going to use that. I already know that. But it is here, so let's install it. So this goes very simply in here. And now basically you have the Ethernet plug here on the outside, which is great. Not sure if there's a better way to run that. Like technically it would be nicer to run it on in this side here. And I also expect we are having more changes on this side when we do mods later. So maybe it's not the worst to route this over this side. Perfect length for that. Very nice. Let's see if that actually works. Yeah, perfect. No unnecessary cable on the other side. It's a bit short here. Let me see if I can get like a tiny bit more cable here. This cover also is not getting easier. So this is good. Technically, I think we could have pulled a tiny bit more cable from here, but this is fine. Okay, cool. Then that's that. I'm putting these covers back because I don't think this one we actually might need to open again, but the others for sure. No. Then screen time. I actually really look forward to having the screen there. I'm not super convinced about the cable selection we have. So the screen has HDMI and USB-C. So these are basically the cables we need to run. I'm not quite sure if it's this way, most likely it's the other way around. Yeah, it's this way around. So this is where we need to have the cable slider. Oh, you don't see it, it's behind the camera. So here we need to have the cables. Oh, good. Currently running some test prints. Are you printing ABS or PLA with the core one at the moment? I know you'll change later. Yeah, I will change a lot later. A lot will change later. So let's just quickly plug these in where they need to be in the board. So why is this not coming off anymore? I regret putting it back on. Here we go. So this, we do the usual trick. We just put in the channel here. Let's have a little bit of flags like here on the beginning. Here we go. And it's getting crowded. So I wonder whether we should have the HDMI from this side or also try to squeeze it into the same channel. I think the good thing is the center channel, like we don't really have to open it for anything. Like this can just stay closed, right? We see, so the USB-C is on the bottom here and the HDMI is on top. So I think these are quite okay cable length. So there's nothing else we need to ever put in this channel, basically. So this is at capacity. Okay, here we go. Okay. Let's make sure there's no tension here on these plugs. It's good. And I think this is like the best you can do with like cable management on these like thicker cables. Like managing the thin cables is always like super easy, but like USB, HDMI and stuff is like always a bit iffy. Maybe it would have been better to have the USB one further back than the cable doesn't bend as much. Am I allowed to get this off again? I know I said I wouldn't take it off again. I think it stays as it is. Okay, it stays as it is. Not worth the effort. I just was thinking like maybe if we put the USB like 1, 2 holes further back, like you don't have this like hard bend here. But not really necessary. Okay, then let's mount the screen. So we have some printer cards for that. Which are these two. So now the question is, do we want to have this in white or in black? It's the same part, I just printed it twice in different colors. What's the community vote? White or black? What do we do? I think white would be nice, but black is maybe nicer with the screen because it looks like all black. Raj is voting for white. Steve is voting for white. I think then it's white. I don't hear anyone wanting black. This is what we want. White is cooler. But to be honest, like looking at this now, maybe it would have been cool to have the first layer in black and then the rest in white, that you have the completely black front. Okay, I see white. White is a clear winner. But yeah, maybe I reprint this part. Really just like the front, like the first layer black and then everything else white. That you just have that all black front. Because now it seems like, you know, like the cheap screens where you have like a border. And with the black, like it's all black. So that would be like my only concern. Oh, and the other thing I just noticed, there are still these like stickers. There are these stickers here on the screw mounts. Let's quickly peel them off. And then we need 3x8, and there are like 4 coming in here. Okay, so then I also heard now from a couple of people that the speaker is very annoying on the screen. That you have like a constant like sound. I hope I don't have the same because it would be quite quite annoying. Okay, then maybe let me get the cables out of the way for now. Then this goes in that way. Okay, now it can no longer fall down. I'm happy. And I think these will be a bit tricky. Wait, bit tricky to get in. But I see whoever designed this part made a little access hole. But I'm not sure if this access hole is big enough. Oh, it is. Just big enough. Okay. And then there is one more on the other side. That's actually not too bad. Like if you have tweezers, it's actually not too bad to install it later. Sweet. Then cable connections. Let's start with the USB, which I hope is not too short. No, that's just long enough. Perfect. And same with the HDMI. Cool. The only thing I don't understand is like why is this like a right angle connector? Maybe that's needed for some boards. I don't know. But I think this is it. Ah, stupid, stupid stickers. I hate these like orange stickers from the screw holes. Like they're always like sticking everywhere. Okay, I mean, technically there's nothing more we need to do here, right? The only thing we need to remember is that the fan 4 is now the Nevermore, and the Nevermore, like the exhaust fan is now what the Nevermore used to be. And besides that, I still did not replace this black cable with a brown cable. You know what? Let me quickly grab a brown cable and we quickly do that, because otherwise I will never do that. I'm right back in 5 seconds. So, I don't think we need even a lot, right? It's like really short. So it's just like a cable, like a power cable. I don't know, like some random power cable extension, like at some point. And I cannibalize that whenever I need I need AC wiring. Um, because it's actually really difficult to buy just a bit of AC wiring, like of the cables. Like they always come like in either like 100 meter, or they're like insanely expensive. You see, so only problem is you have to kind of like rescue them out of their shell. Yep, here we go. So yeah, this is like if you also if you need to extend some AC wiring here, I think we also used some other wiring. So yeah, for sure we did because I have the spec on here. Um, get like a super cheap extension cord. You most likely have like 5 to 10 extension cords or like power cables for some stuff in your door. Sacrifice one, get the cable out. It's the easiest. Connect cable for screen in. Oh, sorry. See, well, now it's wrong way. Different to my mind, unable to get the cables in after screen in. I think this one is the one from Big Tree Tech from the GitHub. I'm not quite sure if this is a different version or something, but I saw what I got from the GitHub. And everyone has a spare kettle lead. Everyone, yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, if you have like any cable, like even if it's like like one of these is perfect, or like the smaller one, the Euro C7 plug, I think it's called or something. Whatever you have laying around, kill it. It's the most straightforward, simple way to get these cables. Don't spend like I know like very short length of these AC wires, like if you buy them separately, they're like 15 euros or something. It's like absolutely fucking insane. Okay, so then this one goes out. It's also like way too thick. This one's like relatively thin now, but you can't have it all. Here we go. Um, I did have. Where did I put the screwdriver? Where did I put the screwdriver? Did I put it back? No, I did not put it back where it belongs. It's also not behind the printer. Okay. Me searching my tools everywhere. Let's see. Yeah, now we need to crimp it quickly. And then this sin is forgiven, I hope. Um, that's the wrong crimping. No. So I have this crimping sets in my nice 3D printed boxes. Oh, oh, literally the last one. That's not good. I have to order new ones. These I use actually like the most by far. Only problem is I'm not sure, but should be long, like fine from the thickness of the wire. Let's see. Okay, that is our cable. Like these crimp connectors are super straightforward. You want to see ferrule on the Wago end? I'm not. Are you supposed to have ferrules on Wago ends, like on the Wago? Because I always feel like they never go properly in if you have the ferrule connector on there. And I know like the Wagos are fine with having the bare wire. Um, like they're okay with that. So I always prefer having like bare wire on this side, because if you have the ferrule, like it doesn't really go in. I think this one is a ferrule here. Is it? No, it's also bare wire. Um, like it's very hard to push them in sometimes because the housing of the ferrule connector is like a bit too thick. And I'm never sure if they're like properly in. So I prefer to have the bare wire on the Wago side. There we go. Now it's brown. I mean, it's like a different brown than the others, but it's brown. So that counts. Cool. I would say like this is all we need to do on this electronics front. So this is now how the entire thing looks. I think we did a pretty good job with like cable management. Like it looks pretty darn clean, if I may say so myself. Um, what I will do, I already mentioned it on Discord. On the weekend or next week, need to see like how my motivations for that. I will make like a quick wiring guide for this machine. Because like my wiring is also like a bit different now than what the Voron guide says. And I'll put it on the GitHub with my configuration. So basically, if you then wire the machine up the same as I do, it's very easy for you to just pop in the configuration, and then it should be good to go. One more thing, like while we are here, there's technically already like a mod, but I want to do mods next time. But now we are kind of here already. So let's just get it done. I printed these insets. Like, I think it's quite a popular mod to have like a finer mesh in your side skirts. Looks way better than when it's like super open. You can, of course, do that when you print the part, like printed one, but actually like these clip-in ones as well, especially if you already printed them or if you get the PIF parts. These are like quite a good way to go about that. Very easy. You just put them where they belong, and then they just really like snap into place. So it's really easy. um, oh, this one is for here, I think. It is, but this one doesn't fit for me. Okay, this one goes here. I think you can also use like dab of glue, but for me they actually snap in quite well. So I don't think I need that. There should be one more. Wait, I have not this one. I have this one. Oh no, did I not print enough? This one is still like. Yeah, I missed this one. I didn't print enough. Oh, here it is. Hiding. Here we go. And these I'm not quite sure because that is like a different shape than what I have. Like they fit on the outside, but they're too tall for the inside. Oh wait, I think you need to. Yeah, I see. But we have to remove the screw for sure here. Let's do that. So you really have to put them in like this and then like push them down. And then fit perfectly. Nice. So the other side. You need to be a bit careful here with the fan wires. Like those fit very well. They also exist for the fans. Like here for the fan grills. But I think it's better to have the fan grills open. Potentially on the side where you don't have fans, you can also add the same mod. And then for the back, let's see how tight this is. There is the Voron insert. And then the printer looks immediately like 10% nicer. It's a very small thing, but I think it makes a huge difference. Here we go. And I still have the protective film on this side because we glued those to the film. I was too lazy so far to redo that. And the film seemingly holds on pretty well, so for me it's fine. I'm looking for my screwdriver again, that I can clean it up. Here it is. And I think it's time to flip that machine over and turn it on. So how do we flip that the best? I think here we go. Now I definitely need some handle or something. Oh wait, this is the top. Is this the top? Which panel am I looking at? This is the other side. This is the top. That's it. Okay. So, I mean, these are the meshes we just installed. I think it looks pretty good. And I also think the white screen is good. But I think still like the first layer should be black to have like the full black front and then only the sides in white. Yeah, it looks nice. Like it's a I think I need there's this mod for Stealth Burner called the Meow Burner to have the little ears, and I kind of want to have this as a panda. So maybe I mod that to have like panda ears. That would be quite cool, I think. And but important part. Okay, let's turn it on, which is quite a task. My camera mount is loose. I definitely have to order like a new mount for here. Like I say it every stream, but they're so expensive. Like a good one for this like ball mount here is like 60, 70 euros. Okay, so the printer's on. I always see like LD. Let me quickly, because I don't think we will do any more hardware stuff this stream. So let me quickly clean up. And then I think this is the complete kit. We have plenty of hardware left. I think some of the more exotic screws, we don't have a lot left. But like all the most common screws, like M38, M312, M510, we have plenty left, which is good. So if you want to add mods and stuff, like you have enough hardware out of the box to do that. Why is the different screen not on? I'm not sure. That's a good question. I would have expected at least some some reaction. But also it should be installed. So, but there's the LED. I see like a very dim LED here. I'm sure if you can also see that. You can only see it from the right angle, I think. There's the LED. So I think it's on. I think it's installed in the Big Tree Tech image as well. Um, let's see. I mean, it is here. Let's start by updating Clipper screen. Yeah, there's definitely like a red LED on the screen. Close. Okay. Nevertheless, let's just quickly go set up and just check quickly what we need to do. So it is installed via Kiao, so this is definitely done. Trusted clients, let's just double check that. It is in. How did you connect the 3D printer to laptop with a wire Wi-Fi? I use Wi-Fi, which is good enough for most things. This kit comes with a separate Ethernet port on the back, so you can also do that, but Wi-Fi is usually what I do. System config in the boot of CV1. This might be the cause of this. Here, the IP address of my printer, it's fine because it's in the 192.168 part, Steve. So this basically covers all the all in these two ranges, I think. Everything with 192.168 and then 123 dot something. This is all covered here, so this is all fine. The most likely, I think Mr. DDSI is correct, and it is most likely that we don't have it in the okay. So the problem is I don't want to remove the SD card. I'm not quite sure if I can change the system conf without removing the SD card. Yeah, I mean, if your printer is Clipper, yes, you can just change it. It doesn't matter how you connect to it. Yes, I think this is our problem here. Most likely I didn't uncomment this one here. I'm not sure if I can edit that. Yeah, slash boot. Yeah, I think this works the same here. Yeah, we have slash boot. So we can just go slash boot. And then we have the system CFG here. So we can just say, I'm just assuming we need sudo rights. So sudo nano slash boot slash system CFG. No, it is uncommented. I was smart enough to uncomment that. So this is set. Oops. No. So this is set. What else could it be? There are two HTML in my work. Oh, that's a good one. Maybe it's HTML2. I guess I have to reboot. Let's see. It doesn't do anything. not back. No, it's back online. I don't see anything else. I mean, we can quickly try to change it to the other thing. Quickly change it back to HDMI 1. Let me quickly sudo shut down now. So just shutting down the system to be a bit more gentle. Let's quickly plug it into the other one. Not gonna fully flip the machine over. I'm just gonna put it on its side. Very glad we have magnetic panels. And I'm just quickly swapping it over to the other HDMI port. But they're actually labeled. One says HDMI and one says HDMI 0, and it was an HDMI 1. So as long as they're not mislabeled, I'll quickly leave the machine upside down like this. It's mislabeled. So don't look at my mess back there. Look at the clipper screen. So now it's plugged in, just if somebody follows, it's plugged into HDMI 0, not HDMI 1. So in the config, it's HDMI 1 in the system config, but it's plugged into HDMI 0. Very nice. So we still have to change the configuration, but zooming. So our clipper screen seems to work. Very slow home though. Very nice. I also forgot. We need to feedback in the Bowden. And technically, to make the kit complete, you need that film environment sensor. I don't like it, so I removed that. But that's it. Let's print something, I would say. Oh, and it's also changed the filter configuration. Before I forget that. Wait. Okay, here we go. Oh, the brush. We need to install the brush. I totally forgot the brush. We can't print yet. We need to install the brush. uh, how do we do that? I'm making you messier with the filament. I'm making a mess with the filament. I think we can quickly install it like on the fly. So let me remove the panel again. So this is basically our brush here. I linked the thing on printables. Now add the other printer to the top of the Clipper config one screen for all printers. Yeah, that's a plan, Steve. I'm gonna do that lot later. So this basically is going here. We need to move the bed a bit around because I think at the moment our over travel, we don't have over travel on the back of the bed. So the nozzle is pretty much on the end. So we need to move the bed a bit forward that we get into this area here where the nozzle later can scrub the brush. Let me do the following. Let's move this up. Home all. And I think we need to put magnets here. We love magnets. Let me see where we have magnets. These are the good ones we used for the panel. Let's just move the top panel also quickly. Then we can really move that out of the way. Perfect. Okay. So I think we need two M3 screws. It's relatively simple to mount here. So let's quickly do that. Oh no, the blue screen Fiesta. We had a black screen. The black screen of Clipper screen not working. Let me use actually M3 hammer nuts for this one here. So I use two of these, and I think M3/8s are plenty. Just checking like from the depth. Yeah, M3/8. Let me quickly see if I can find the magnets that came with the kit. I'm not sure if we moved them somewhere else. But to be honest, let's just use these are the N52 magnets. There are like three here, but let's just use two. I think that's plenty if we use two. And they seem really tight, so that might be like fun time getting them in. Yeah, they seem really tight. Let's use our good old trick again. They're really tight. I mean, I can convince them to go in, but so, oh yeah, you don't really see what I'm doing, I think. But I'm just pressing them in. They're not super flush in there. I'm not very concerned about that. This just needs to be like roughly in place. Doesn't need to be like super precisely um, positioned. So the only thing we need to make sure is that the orientation is correct. I'm not sure if my trick works with these. Oh. The magnet's attached to the magnets on the bottom. Hey, I fixed this. This is the same as the one that broke. I totally fixed it. Let's see. Well, yeah, like these holes are very tight. Maybe it's even better if I use soldering iron to press them in. Because with these, they go in, but not on the back fully, because I can't press on the back here. I don't really have something to press on the back. We can take off this shoe. Yeah, that kind of works. Yeah, this is all it this is all it needs. Maybe. Because this can't really go anywhere anyways. And as a spoiler, this is not the final brush I'm gonna use. We will use a different one later on. Really tricky with the corner because the magnet now wants to snap over to this one really badly. Yeah, no, it just snapped in. Very nice. Yeah, like the other brush I have. So this is the one that came with the kit. So I want to install this one first. The other one I have, it's a very similar setup. As you can see here, it's like very similar. The main difference is for this one, you have this bucket to remove basically, but there's no grip or something on this bucket. So it's a bit annoying to remove. And this one is magnetic, but I'm not quite sure why it's magnetic because the main part stays in the printer. This one has a bit of a different setup. You screw this one in the printer, then it has two magnets here and snaps in like this. So basically you can take out the bucket and the bucket snaps back magnetically. And the other thing is this one uses the A1 Bamboo Lab A1 clone brushes. I actually have the A1 mini brushes, I think. Yeah, they're a bit smaller for the A1 mini. Works just as fine here. So it's silicone instead of the brass. And then the other nice thing that comes with this, this doubles as like an end stop basically for the bed sheet. So you can just slide the bed in and this goes on the other side. You can just like slide the bed against it. That's why I like this one a bit more. But this one is the one that comes with the kit, so I wanted to install this one first. If I get it in. Here we go. Okay. And then the other thing is, as I mentioned, we have to readjust the bed a bit. So I'm just gonna loosen that. And let's already move that. It's quite a bit. I think that should be enough already. We're gonna like straighten this out in a second. Never good idea to put magnets in heat anyway. Yeah, that's true. You have a point there, Steve. How can I turn off the motors? I accidentally did it before. Let me just quickly use the web interface. Let me move that down to 10. And then I turn off the motor so we can move to that. So this is, yeah, just enough now. So now we are like nozzle is kind of center of the, I'm not sure if I can show you that, but the nozzle is now just here. So it's just like over the brush. So we can't really move like some people do like zigzag pattern or something. So we can just brush left and right, but I think that's good enough. We can technically move the bed a tiny bit more forward, but then of course it kind of eats in our wide travel also a bit. So if I do it like this, we can move the brush forward a bit more. Yeah, now it reaches the back of the brush. So technically we can now do like a bit of like a zigzag pattern here. So let's leave it like this. That just means for the front, I mean, we still hit the glass in front, so I think we're golden here. Yeah, so we don't lose any white travel basically. A bit because now the bed is like not fully reachable on the front because we hit the panel. But then we lose, like if we move it quite close to the front panel, we still lose like 8-9 millimeters. So I think this is basically now where the tap comes in, where because of tap we lose a bit of white travel. Nevertheless, I think it's quite a good deal. I mean, maybe we can move it down like a tiny bit. And just make it like a compromise between the two. Okay, so that's the same. And then yeah, that's also a bit odd design. So you can't really move it all the way forward. And I would see the screw. That would help me a lot. I think this is as much forward as we can go so that we can still remove that. Let's go a tiny bit further back. Now we can remove this and we can remove that. Don't forget to set up orchid to not move to Y0. That's not a problem, Mr. DDSI. We need to adjust the end stop position here. So at the moment, this is set to 300. So we need to set it to 305 or something. We need to try it out. So basically at the moment, it would be in a negative Y space. So Orca doesn't go there anyways. You stopped MCU errors now? Yeah, this 100% stopped all MCU errors. This is the recommended thing I would do. I also added this to the files. I have in Discord, I have a collection with all the printed files. This is the recommended part with the PG7 connector here. The wire directly in, for some reason, caused for me connection issues with the toolhead board. I have the wire directly in on my switch wire, same board, no problem. For some reason here it is a problem. So this is basically the better way to do it. That's a good reminder, Steve, to mention it on stream as well, because that was quite a good learning. Only extra for switch wire, so it's a bit different. But I also know that other people use that like directly in, and it's like not a problem. So maybe my cable is a bit iffy or something. I don't know. Not sure what the difference is there. Okay, then Now I'm not muted anymore. Yes. Sound okay? No, it's okay. Sorry, guys. Okay. Um, I tried to unmute myself before. I think I failed to unmute myself and then said that I unmuted myself. I'm very sorry. Okay. With that out of the way, let's quickly fix the bed before I forget that. Just making sure it's parallel to the front. So just probing on this side. Let's just quickly fix this here. This is pretty good. So I basically accidentally touched this button here. Okay. That is fixed. Let's put in the bed sheet. And then let's go back to the side view because I think this is the best for you to see the brush. Let's quickly home. And then first we need to adjust the Y end stop position. Because if we now go to Y0, now we're actually quite okay still. I wouldn't. Like we are like 5 mm away from the front panel. So technically what we can do is we can, in the printer config, which is a lie, in the printer EVB, we configured our, no, not EVB, MAP, sorry, my brain. So we configured our stepper Y and we have the position max and the end stop position here. So what we can do is we can set this to 303 each. And that basically will give us like 3 mm more wide travel. I noticed that I touched it because I saw that people complained I'm muted, but then I unmuted the wrong way because this button does something else than just mute. It removes the microphone input, and then it didn't work, although I unmuted. Okay, so this should give us now 3 mm extra. So if I now go to Y0, we are like very close to the front, which is fine. Like there's like a millimeter, 1.5, 2, which is not a deal for the fan, but be it. So be it. Usually you don't use that really anyways. And that means for Y300, we are, yeah, for 300, we are already off the bat. So that's something, then in Orca, we need to configure that like the bat size is like whatever we now find. I think maybe like 295. Take a look. No, it's still like off the bat, so it's like maybe 292. Yeah. So so basically we lost like 8 mm of wide travel. So 292 is basically max that we can print on the bed. Okay, let's figure out the position of the brush. So I assume this will be like 303. So the end stop is 303. So let's say 302, just that we don't trigger the end stop. And then X should be most likely 280. Yeah, so 280 is at the other end of the brush. Maybe let's also quickly check the Z height. Yeah, I'm trying to give you full view of that. So let me yeah, we're a bit low now. So now I'm definitely over. Let's quickly move. Okay, so now we are like on the far side of the brush. And then let's move down so we are on the brush, which is this. So our start position basically for brushing is 238, 320, and Z10. So this is basically, let me quickly take a screenshot of that. This is the brush start. And then the brush end is basically we move over 30 millimeters. 40 millimeters. So that's basically our end position. And then what we can do is like we can poop a bit of filament in here. And that is, it's really difficult to see here from the side. Yeah. Yeah, I would have wished this to be a little bit more forward. So maybe we, after all, I just don't want to like move over the end stop of the Y here at the trigger position. So I think this has to do, or we just move the bucket. We can move the bucket a bit forward, I think. Here we go. Bucket has been moved forward. Now it should like extrude in here. Let's quickly test if we can extrude into the bucket. Femba will be okay, you think? I mean, like it's also like you never print on 0, and if you print, it's just like one move, so it should be fine. I don't have any concern there. Let's quickly heat up to 240. This is unfortunately the lowest I can do with the camera. Only thing I could do maybe now you have a better angle. So it's 250. So let's just purge in. So my idea is basically to purge and then like move over the brush after purging and then retract. Like purge, retract, move over the brush. And then we should have a primed, clean nozzle. So I'm just going to purge quite a bit now because we have a color change. You see it squeezing out, right? Exactly. It goes into the bucket. And now we can move to 258. And we pooped into the bucket. And then we can like now brush a bit and cool the nozzle down. So I think that would be then quite a good macro. Let's write that macro. I'm quickly gonna move the camera up because otherwise it's really awkward for me to work on the machine. Okay, so macro time. So we want to let's do that in the nozzle purge. Let's say nozzle, prime, and brush. So basically my goal is like if you change the filament manually, right? Like it's never in the perfect position. And then I would just like go for purging it here. So we do, I have this macro called chohm. Oh, wait, let me just switch over to. So I have this macro called chohm. You see it also here, which is conditional home. Like if the printer is homed, it doesn't do anything. If it's not homed, it does a home basically. So we go to the purge position, which is, let me squinch at my screenshots. Um, 298 on X. Y is 302. Let's actually go 303 here, just like all the way on the back. And then Z is 10. So that's where we go. Then we need to heat up the hot end. So from the print start, we can copy over this line here, which is like a parameter, right? Then later we can say extruder temperature. So I'm just copying this over from the print. So we move, where am I now? We move here over the bucket. Then we heat up to the extruder temperature. Then we extrude, and I think we can extrude quite a bit. Like let's just extrude like 50 millimeters to really like make sure everything is in the right spot. And then we do the brushing. So this is basically move over bucket. Then we purge. And then after purge, we set M104, which is just like we set the temperature, but we don't wait for the temperature. Then we just turn off the hot end. And then while we turn off, like the hot end is now cooling down, we brush. And there I need to check how to work. For E in, is there a for loop? For? Yeah, here. This is what I wanted. So this is a for loop. For me, this is quite easy as a software developer, but I know people struggle with that. So basically, it just says like for E in range, and that's this now the amount, how many iterations we want. So we just say 10. So we want to brush 10 times. That should be enough for the nozzle to cool down to a point where it doesn't ooze anymore. So basically everything in between these two segments will be repeated 10 times. Also here, let's do the following. Let's retract maybe 10 millimeters. So we purge, let's say 50, and then we retract 10. Then the brush motion is we go all the way to the other side. So this is 5/8, if I remember correctly. 3/8. So this is the other side, and then we go to 5/8. So we go to the far side of the brush and then come back to the side where the bucket is. We don't need to specify these two. So basically it moves like back and forth 10 times. And then we are done. Then let's just at the end move a little bit forward. So we go to Y Actually, let's put the y coordinate. We said like we don't want to be on the end stop, so let's just put 302 here. Doesn't matter if we are on the end stop or not. We are on the end stop. That's fine. Let's actually just move a little bit forward and backwards. So let's do 301 here. And 303, 302 here is 299. So we just move like in a bit of an X. And then at the end, we go to 290. So we move a bit out of the bucket back on the print bed. And then at this end of the macro, basically, we purge the nozzle. The nozzle is brushed and clean. And now it's also cold-ish. So we can now put this. We can put this. Print start. We have here the brush nozzle. So the only question I have now, we also have to pass extruder temp. The extruder temp is extruder temp. So basically the parameter we get here, we just pass through. The only question I have now, we do the G32 here, which does like a quad gantry level. I wonder whether we want to do the quad gantry level after the nozzle is known clean. So whether we just do like G28, brush and prime the nozzle, and then do the, let's do that. Because then we know that the nozzle is clean for the quad gantry level. So we do, we remove the chome here. So basically it fails if it's not homed. And then I think we have this G32. So it's G28. So we have a couple of homes, but it's fine. Generally, we are waiting for the print bed anyways, so there's no rush. I missed a couple of messages. Sorry, I was in screenshot. Use M40 instead of M109. Do I have the wrong G code there? M109. Let me quickly check. G code. This is. Wait, what did I do here? Wait for hot and temperature. It's not what I wanted. Set hot and temperature. Yeah, M104 is what I want. M104. No, we have to wait. M109 is correct. M109 is correct. We have to wait. Set 150 and you don't have to heat again for tap. I could do that, but tap doesn't heat up the nozzle, right? It just limits at 150. So that should be fine. We can do 150, might be hair quicker. Yeah, let's do 150 here instead of 1. And then 140 is 40 is bad, right? Set bed temperature, Mr. the DSI. That's the bad temperature. We don't want to set the bad temperature now. Clean nozzle before quad gantry level and mesh. Yeah, but then I need 2 G28 at least. So I need to do G28 nozzle, and then I say G32. This one we don't need at all. Yeah, then technically we need to add that the heat soaking here. I do that manually at the moment. That's fine for now. This one we can also remove. And then nozzle purge for the nozzle purge. So at the end here, we do all the things. At the end, we say nozzle purge. And the nozzle purge does the purge line at the beginning. And here I have quite an aggressive E15. At this point, we can just do E10 because we already know that it's 10 from the retract here. So it should be fine. And then G28, we clean the nozzle, we do that. Yeah, one line will wait for the temperature, but I want to purge, I need the temperature. M1, yeah, exactly, like M104 will let me move, but what's the point of letting me move? I need to extrude. Or like I want to extrude. Here, if I use M104 here, then I have a cold extrusion. What's the point of that? Here, I don't need to wait. I want to cool down while I brush. So I need 109 here and 104 here, unless I miss something completely. So M109, yes, it will wait, but it's exactly what I need here. Let's give it a shot, right? My Y is 199 instead of 299. Ah, that's not nice. Where's my Y? Oh, yep. Thank you. Thank you, Neo. Okay, so I'm not now gonna do like a simple home. That's exactly what the machine later will also do. Right? In the start print, we will have a simple home. Then let's start the macro. That's a bit awkward here with the camera. Purge and brush nozzle. No, that's not how I called that. How do I call it? Prime and brush. Moves over the bucket. It heats up. Oh, it heats up to 190. Let me quickly emergency stop that one. I didn't set the extruder temp and it defaults to 190, which is not good because we have ADS loaded at the moment. Let me quickly do like a home again. How did we call that parameter? Extruder temp. So I need to set that with extruder temp is, let's say, 250. Now it heats to 250. You also said it had 40 millimeter travel. You only give it 20 millimeter. Did I only give it 20 millimeter? Macros. That is the screenshots I took. 3.8 and I mean we'll brush either way. Oh yeah, 7.8. Yep, Steve, you're correct. 7.8. Let me quickly do one more thing. So we restart it quickly again. I just emergency stopped it because otherwise it waits for the temperature. So let's home that and then let's run the macro again. And I think we have really cool brush macro. Like if there would be like some like grip or something here, it would be like way better because now it's a bit iffy to get out. But if there would be like some grip here, it would be nicer. Okay, so now it's heating up. And like we really need to wait here for temperature because otherwise it doesn't extrude, of course. Oh no. Well, it extrudes, but did we have an accidental oh shit. There was a stray X25 in here. That's not what we wanted. We didn't want to move. And I think we can also maybe increase it a little bit to 700. M104 will wait for temp. Set a new target temperature and continue without waiting. This will not wait. M104 will not wait. It will not wait for settle. It will just continue immediately. I use M104 in other spots. Like it doesn't wait. It continues immediately. It just sets temperature, but doesn't wait for anything. We have like this like there are some other Clipper commands to wait for temperature. Maybe that's something that you don't wait for settle. So M104 for sure will not work. I guarantee you that. Yeah, Steve, that's what I'm doing. G28, brush, and then G32. And I mean, what we can do, Mr. D's eyes, like we can use M104, but then we need a specific wait command from Clipper to wait for a certain temperature. There are some others that don't wait for settle. Some optimization, but we're not gonna save like a lot of time. Most of the time the bed will heat up anyway, so it's not like we are on a tight schedule. Yeah, I think this is a perfect height. It's just barely not touching the silicone. And now the nozzle is at 160 when we are done. So after the 10 strokes, it's at 160 degrees. So it's perfect because then you don't have any more oozing. The only concern I have, like, if we like, if the ABS starts like melting into that. So maybe it's good for the purge if we are like a tiny bit higher up, that the filament has a bit more time to cool. So let's do that. So let's do a Z Z15. And then later we do Z10 when we retract. Let's try this one more round. But I think now we have like a pristine clean nozzle. So I do a G28. TZ is tricky with PID tuning for different temps. So far it works quite okay for me. Like my temperature range is not massive because I use PLAs like 225 and my ABS is 260. So it's not like a massive range for me. Seems to work, all I can say. Yeah, now we're a bit higher up, so the plastic can cool down a bit more before it hits the tray. Still would wish for that to be like a tiny bit further in, but I guess there's quite a bit of space here. I think the other one I have is a bit closer. Oh, it didn't extrude anything now. Why did it not extrude anything? I have filament. There's filament. I have clearly filament. I mean, you don't see it, but I see filament. Ah, but I see the problem here. Maybe we retract a bit too much with 10, but 10 shouldn't be too bad. Let's retract 5 instead. Let's quickly try it one more time. I'm just gonna make sure. Yeah, it's like pretty much on the bottom now. To be honest, let's maybe purge more than 50. I just want to have this like super reliable. So I'm just gonna purge 75, to be honest. 75 should also cover like most of the filament color changes. Let's try this one more time. You think 75 will fill this too soon? I mean, I don't mind cleaning this out every couple prints. Because usually it will not poop out 75 anyways, right? Because at the print end, we have quite a large retract to move it out of the hot zone. And if I change the filament, it also doesn't do it. Let me try one more time, just to be sure. And then let's print something. And then next time, I mean, the next steps basically would be we do some mods for sure. And also we can start tuning speed because I'm still using the standard profile. No, I didn't pay attention. Did it do anything? No, it didn't poop anything out, right? Hmm. I think maybe I'm extruding too quickly. I think I'm extruding too quickly. Let me quickly see again. Let's set it to F700, which might be a bit too much. Let's do 500. Let's maybe stick with 50. But I wonder why like it moves so far up. All I do is the -5 here. That should not be too. Let's try one more time. And this time I pay attention and I see something extrude. Because like it's now definitely in. I have the Bowden tube pulled back a bit here, that I see that it's pulled in. One thing to speed it up a bit, Mr. DDSI, what you could do is like basically we can say extruder temp -20 because usually filaments can be extruded like lower than the actual printing temperature. Yeah, looks good. Okay, let's quickly print something. Let's do Voron cube. Let's do like my hollow Voron cube again. I really like those. So the infill density is just 0, and we have 0 top shell layers. And why would that take 42 minutes? It's the wrong filament. "19 minutes looks better." Let's give that a shot. I still have to figure this out. Like, they need to have like certain orientation, otherwise they don't work well. Oh, now we can observe our perch macro, I think, in real time. Let me take a look here how the numbers look. So it's 260 degrees now. So it's heating up. And also in parallel, the bed heats up. We're not going to heat soak now. Yeah, now it didn't extrude again. Why did not extrude again? I mean, it is in the extruder, it's all fine. So something retracts the filament quite a bit. I'm just not sure what. I hate this mount so much. So something pulls the filament back way too much, but I'm not quite sure what that is. It's I'll sit down tomorrow and observe that just a bit. Every time my headset runs out, like it's a disaster to get it back working with the other one. This one is just not. Here we go. Okay. I need to check the NG. Make there some macros for the TZ because if I tune to 230 and ask for 150 for tap, it will never settle and fail. That's not a problem for me. Like definitely not. And I don't ask for 150, right? I just ask for less than 150. There's no reason to have the nozzle at exactly 150 for the probing. It just doesn't have. It just must not be over 150. Because then you could damage the bed, but it can be at 85 and dropping. Like it doesn't really matter. Oh, cancel. Why? What happened now? So for some reason it couldn't settle on the quad gantry level. And extruder not hot enough for something. Most likely for a retract because the print got cancelled. Let's quickly try again. The nozzle is clean. Like this move back now, I think we can speed it up quite a bit. No need for that to be so quick, as slow. Let's quickly also Google clipper weight for temperature. And there's some special, exactly, temperature weight. So I think this one has more temperature weight sensor. That would be then the extruder, minimum, maximum. Wait until the given temperature sensors at or above supplied minimum and or below the maximum. So technically you can use this one, Mr. DDSI. This is less, this doesn't wait for settled. It didn't extrude again. So something is not there with that extrude. So we can say here temperature weight sensor is extruder. So we have one and then minimum is extruder temp -5. So that's something we can do. And then technically we can say maximum is extruded temp +5. So it's like roughly in the range. That would be minimally quicker, I guess. I'm more interested in like why this doesn't work. Maybe we have to here set G91 and then G90 for the I think this is the problem, that the extruder is in absolute mode. I think we are missing M83. M80, so basically I think it moves to absolute positions. Because this is nowhere here set, and in the nozzle purge, here we set M83. And I think this is what's missing here, M83. Because now we are printing, but like it's not extruding at all. It started extruding after a while. Let's quickly check. Let's try one more time. You see, like there's like a little bit of green here, but like it didn't extrude like consistently. You know what? Let's quickly leave the panel off here. Let's try one more time. I quickly do a firmware restart that we load in the new macros. And I will set the bed to 110 that we keep that at temperature. Then let's home, and then let's run our macro again. And then let's hope that with the M83, we are now at a spot where like we get extrusion. And now it's waiting. So now basically if what I did works, it should not wait for 250 settle, but like when we hit 245, it should immediately start extruding. Yeah. Then let's also try this entire thing again to see it's extruding again. But I think we need to extrude a little bit lower again because otherwise like you create these like really long like strings that make it a bit tricky to keep them in the bucket. Now it hits 245 and immediately starts extruding. Yeah, so the M83 was missing. M83 was missing. That was the problem. Yeah, now you see like this like long string standing up here. I think it's better if we go a little bit more down for the purge after all. So instead of Z15, let's do Z10 right away. And then I think we can also speed the brush move up a little bit. Okay. Let's try our print again. I look at that, but with the TZ6 watt, I do M19S50. The macro will tile out cost of the hot and never settle. Yeah, but why 150? Why do you need 150? Set it to 0. There's no need for 150. You only want it to be below 150. And that is, like, if you look at my macro, that's the activate macro of the probe, which I actually have in a printer. I need to sort it again. Look at what it's doing here. This is also using the temperature wait command. But it just says maximum 150. So basically you just set I'm not quite sure where it sets it. So basically you just set M104, so it doesn't wait. M104 as 0. You just turn it off and then you set temperature, wait, sensor, extruder, maximum 150. You don't need it to settle at 150. So the M109 command is not really what you need. You just need to be below 150. Let me think how I can give you like a good angle on this print. Just give it, just check. I mean, like if it works, right? You don't have to change it. I think now, actually, let's turn the printer to the front because otherwise you have the the beam here. But that's at least like the macro I have is with the temperature weight. Because like all you need is that it's not not hotter than 150. It's a bit weird that it waits in the center. I need to change that. It should wait in the front. Because now it will like move to the front, purge. Also, it didn't set the light printing. I noticed that before. Maybe quickly take a look at that in parallel. So we have the print start. Yeah, light printing, it should do it. Trying to focus. Config light, yeah. Oh yeah, I totally forgot about the config for light. How about we quickly do that while we wait for a print here? We are multitasking. Um. So let's first do the exhaust fan. This one is now the fan of the Nevermore. So this is the fan 0. Fan 0. So we copy pin PF7. Pin PF8 goes to the Nevermore. Let's just keep it like this. But I actually don't really want to have that on all the time, to be honest. So I think I'll just quickly move that to fan generic. I don't have a heater fan, but like fan generic, and then like it's not heater. It's not heater. Temp. So I'll just have it as fan generic. You can have it as a heater fan. It turns on automatically when the bed is over 60 degrees, but I rather have it manual. I'm not quite sure how you use it yet. So this is the that one. And then the case light. But we have it on the hot end 4 connector, I think. Um, Pin out. Let's quickly check. So we have the V2 hardware. Pin out. We have it on hot end 3, this one here. So this is PA5. And this is actually all we need. So this is, let's just fix that. It's not optional, we have it. Safe. So after the print, we can quickly test that. Oh, sorry. Let me see if I can turn down the light a bit. Generally, I'm quite happy with the print quality of the machine. There's still some things I need to optimize. Like sometimes the top surface layer in so if there's infill and then you print like a larger top surface area direct on the infill, like it's sometimes a bit weird. But also like that's for the lower infill values and ABS. So might just be something filament specific. Mm, I don't have sample print right now. But besides that, it prints really nice. I also printed some PTG that worked really well, and I printed some PLA. PLA was a bit iffy. I think this for the bat, like the PLA didn't really stick super well to the spat. So that's yeah, not really what the machine is used for, PLA mostly, but still was a bit annoying because it really curled up. PTG was okay. ABS is amazing. Like ABS sticks to the spat like crazy. Um, yeah. So next steps. So what are we gonna do? So we will of course keep working on this machine. There's quite a couple of things to do still. Like I mean, now the kit is done. All the things that come with the kit are installed. This is how the printer is intended. Already mentioned I'll make a write-up with all the learnings we had because like in the stream is always a bit chaotic because I just do stuff on the fly. So I'm gonna make a write-up, and I think especially around like the flashing, I did not a good job on stream. That was quite chaotic. So I'm just making a quick write-up. I also have all the files and the mods I used. I mean, I didn't use a lot of mods. The only mods I used so far are the ones that come from from Formbot directly. They are like part of the kit. Except for the PG7 2-nut mount, I think, and the panel clips, but you do whatever panel clips you want, right? So I'm gonna publish all these files like in one bundle, basically, with all the links to the printables if you need parts for 350 or 250. And then also do like a wiring guide very quickly with the wiring how I did it. That doesn't mean it works for the 350. I don't have that, or for 250. But it's just like how I did it. And then you also know if you wire it up the same way, then my config will work for you too. I also will keep the config for the machine in this state on the GitHub. So I will make a new branch for all modifications I do. So this baseline config will always be there. What's my fan speed? The fan speed is 100%, I think. 74%. Where do you see overhangs? No, I did not swap the fans. It's all stock. But it's the segue basically I was looking for. So what we were going to do is like we will swap a couple of parts. The back of the cube? Yeah. I don't see it, but not sure what you refer to. Oh, you mean that part there? I'm not quite sure if it's actually. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So what we're gonna do is Mr. Lilies, I had very bad experience with the with the Formbot fans because he had some fans dying on him. And I'm not super happy with the fans anyway, so I will swap the fans. We're gonna swap the two-head fans both. For the Nevermore, I most likely will just keep the stock fans for now. But I really don't like the controller fans that we have under deck, because they're quite noisy. Like the machine is super quiet, Also from my further tuning, I want to keep the machine quiet because it's in my living room. And it's a larger machine, it will run longer prints. I don't want to have like a constant noise, basically. So what we're going to do is for the bottom compartment, we will install 120 millimeter fans. Most likely, maybe 140, you just hash it out. So just regular PC fans. They will give like a ton of airflow, but then still be like relatively quiet. So that's one thing we do. Then I already mentioned like maybe like most likely we're gonna change out the brush for silicone brush. We will what else will we do? We will definitely install like more potent chamber lighting. I'm most likely not gonna do RGB, but I want to have more like a more even lighting basically. So that's something we're gonna do. And what else? What else are we gonna do? I've got a couple of other things planned, but now I forgot most of them. Oh, a camera, of course. We're gonna install a camera. What is a printer without a camera, right? Um, and then let's see. I think that's kind of like on top of my head. These are the mods we're gonna do. So it's more one or two streams basically. We always swap the hot end out, so I'm really happy with the TZ hot end I have now. That works really well. I said it was loud. Yeah, I mean, I already put the controller fans to 75% speed. That solved the worst of the problem. Um, but yeah, it's a bit of a waste because like the printing action is so quiet that like the controller fans really are loud. Yeah. So a couple of things. I think more things will follow naturally. As I use the machine, new things will pop up that I want to do. Also quickly, show you the clipper scheme. So this is also working now. I'm really excited for that. So it's really nice to have that. I never had such a nice screen on any printer I ever owned. And I have a dedicated fan for the step drivers, and I set the controller fans at 40%. Yes, that's also possible. Like at the moment, I'm thinking just like completely removing the controller fans, because if I have like two of the big fans pushing air from the bottom, the little fans from the side will not do too much. So I think it's fine. One of the controller fans makes weird noises. For me, they're all fine. They're just like noisy. I actually have like a different plan for these fans, so they will go out. They will end up in a different machine. And in the different machine, it's not as important to cool, so they will run on like 20% and be happy. So change it for 12 volt Noctua. Yeah, it's also possible, but the other fans I have already. So I'm gonna try to use the fans I have. And I think it's also nice to have larger ones that cool directly at the stepper drivers, like from the bottom up directly onto the board. Um, I think it's more effective. Especially, I mean, I kind of dabble with the thought of moving this machine to 48 volts at some point. And I think then it's just nice to have like more direct cooling for the stepper drivers. 5160s will need active cooling. Yeah, exactly. On the switch wire, I also have like, I mean, there I have an 80 millimeter fan directly blowing at them. I think it's quite a good setup. Yeah, but I don't want to have like 30 millimeter fans. Like why do that? Like, I have the large fans, and we already installed like fans like that on the switch wire, and it works really well. So I I would just go with that. The M8P even has like the 4-pin fan headers for the PC fans, so it's plug and play. So for me, it's really the easiest option. At the very least, the 5160s, also 2209s, they don't burn out. They say like, oh, I'm too hot, error, which is way preferred over just burning out. This cube looks a bit weird. It looks massively over extruded to me. I don't know why. Potentially I used the wrong filament profile. No, it should be correct. It looks over extruded. Like it doesn't look like super sharp. Something is a bit off. It should be the last layer. Yes. 1 second. Camera. Looks generally okay. Like these layers look a bit weird here. This I think this is why it looks over extruded. It's not why it's over extruded, but these are like making it look very over extruded. Not quite sure what happened here. Besides this, it looks quite okay. And maybe the temperature was a bit off. I don't know. haven't seen this before on this machine. Because besides that, like the top and the bottom looks really good. It's just in the middle, like this weird stretch here. I have no clue what happened there. And the overhangs look fine to me. And we have nice first layer. So I think generally needs a bit more tuning. There are definitely some small issues I have to troubleshoot still. I mentioned that top surface quality sometimes. This one, I'm not quite sure if this was now a fluke or if there's something off. I need to observe that a bit, but I didn't notice it on the parts that I printed recently. Nothing here. So not quite sure what that was. It's straight. I mean, hey, you can't fault it for being straight. It's perfect. It's amazing. I mean, for the first how the first one looked we ever printed here. And this is a bit weird to get out. Like the bucket is not very economical, I would say. But it collects all our junk. So that's good. And we have a beautiful clean nozzle, so I don't have to like manually clean the nozzle every time I start to print. Because that was like super annoying. Like you always have to pay attention that your nozzle is clean and that there's nothing on the nozzle. And now I can just lean back, relax, and let the machine do its thing. Let's quickly check the fan and the light. I totally forgot again. So let me just quickly do like firmware restart. Oh, and there's a config issue. Fan speed is not valid, so we remove fan speed, save and restart. It's because I swapped it from being a heater fan to a generic fan. Oh! Case light, 100%. I would say the case light works. It's actually not too bad. But you see now what I mean with the shadow, right? Like there's a, like when you move here, you see this shadow basically. And if you have it on the front, you still have the shadow, but then the shadow is basically from your perspective. So it's like behind and now it's in front. So it's the only part that's a bit annoying. I think if you put it to the printing, like at least you have the LD filling the shadow in a bit, but yeah, it's a bit not ideal. But yeah, the light solution I will install later is like front and back. So it's a bit more spread out than basically. Then let's also quickly check the exhaust fan. I can confirm the exhaust fan is exhausting. I'm not sure if you hear it in stream, but it's a relatively loud fan. So I'm not going to use that for sure, just for noise. Potentially with PLA, maybe, but then also I can just pop out the panels and it's good. Cool. Let's quickly add one more thing here to the config. In light pending, we say set pin chamber light value 0. So basically we just turned off when the we set it to 0.2 when we are pending. Light printing, we can set it to, it's very bright, so I think 0.8 was fine. And then light off, we set it to 0, just so that we have integrated it into our like normal lighting macros. So in light off, oh, chamber light is not a valid pin. How do we call that? Case light, my bad. My bad. Case light. Case light. Case light. Case light. Save and restart. Yeah, now it also turns off when you restart the machine. Yes. That's actually don't turn it on for pending. I don't like that. So for pending, we also say 0. I just wonder why it turns on when the machine starts. That's a bit annoying. Maybe that's something I can fix later. But now we have for pending, we have the red Voron logo. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. Printing, we have the chamber light. You also see now the PWM on the camera. It's flickering. It's just weird that in the firmware restart, it always turns on the chamber light for a second. Not sure if I like that. I don't like that. But yeah, it is what it is. I'll fix that. Cool. 3 lot fans and 3 kilograms of unused T-nuts on this printer. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's like 8 unused T-nuts. I'd rather have too many T-nuts than too little. So yeah, I would say that's it for today. I think we finished up everything that was there to finish up. Kit is done. As mentioned, we will continue with some other improvements on the machine. So this project is not done. And when this one is done, the next one is coming. Like most likely not the new machine, but we have some other cool stuff to do with the switch wire and the V0. Work never runs out. Cool. Yeah, enjoy your weekend. For some lucky people, it's a long weekend with a holiday on Monday, including me. I'm very happy about that. So yeah, enjoy your weekend and see you next week. Bye.